welcome to Lockdown Workshop. So, quick how-to. This one is going to be quick. I wasn't even going to bother videoing this, but I thought, do you know what, since I seem to be doing some how-tos recently, we'll do this one. So, how to swap your brake pads. Are we back? Right, so this is a recently purchased giant Propel Advanced SL. So the SL is the slightly lighter and higher quality carbon than the Pro Zero, Pro 1. So it just moves up. Main reason you can tell it's an SL, it's got a seat post that you have to cut down with a sheath that goes over the top of it, as opposed to a hole with a seat post that slides up and down. But we're not here for that. So the brakes are a little bit squeaky, which probably means they're contaminated. There might be some life left in them. I'll soak them in brake fluid, but given I don't know the backstory on the brakes, we're just going to switch them out for something else. Always worth checking the rotors. I have already checked the rotors and they are within the specification. I think it's 1.5. Shimano normally helpfully says what the minimum spec is on there somewhere, if I can see it. Minimum thickness is 1.5, yeah. So it's the same as the other ones. These are tubeless tyres, which is why they're trying to settle down to where all the tubeless liquid is. So the brake calipers are slightly different on all bikes. Some bikes you have to take the caliper off the frame and the pads come out that way. Some calipers you can leave them on the frames and the pads come out that way. Now with most Shimanos, they nearly always come out the top way. So sometimes they have a retaining circlip. Don't lose them, because you will not get one. When you buy the things, you will get a split pin that goes through and you bend over and they look rubbish. So don't lose them because they hold them in. To be honest, that's kind of your last resort. If the pin falls out, it's coming that way anyway. It's not going to fall into your wheels. And it's unlikely it'll come undone because I think it's got liquid thread lock on as well. So that's the pin. That most of them have a pin that hold the pad in place. And it's I think it's a 2.5 or a 2 mil. Can't read what that says. They've all worn off. Nope, it's not that one. It's going to be every size except for the one we've got. No, it's this one. I'm pretty sure it's this one. You don't need to do these up tight, so don't be ragging them in. It's probably only 1 or 2 Newton meters. So you can see it's threaded that they send. There is no liquid thread lock on that. I might dab a bit on. The bits down there, don't lose them. Nice and simple. So the pads should come out the back. That's the thing. You can sometimes get them out in one go. It depends what mood they're in. That one's disappeared all the way down. Sometimes they are magnetic as well, which only adds to the fun. There you go. So they're actually not too bad. They look like they might have been changed recently. I don't know whether they're sintered or... So again, I don't know the history on the bike. For the sake of a set of pads, I'll swap them. Now, what should have been on these? Well, I think they were on as an option. Yeah, you can see they're quite heavily dirty. So we'll keep them because they do look relatively new, but they do look like they might be sintered. So we'll keep them. I used to run sintered all the time, but I recently discovered that the brake discs that I've got on my mountain bike will specifically say no sintered, resin only. So I've got some. Now, one of the options for these was a heat sinked brake. So I have got a set of what do they call them? Van Dorm ceramic. So they're not sintered, they're not metal, they're ceramic. So they're kind of in between sintered and resin. Now I've used these before. They are really good brakes. Even though they're kind of they are a composite brake, they don't tend to suffer with squeal like a lot of the brake pads do. So that's quite good. Let me just adjust the get the hole in the right place. So you want that hole so it goes through before you put it in, because otherwise you're just going to be suffering a world of pain. Right. Now, if this doesn't work, what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to take the wheel off, and you're going to have to take either the wheel off or the brake caliper off to just push the pads out. But because them pads that were in were fairly good. Now there is something else you can use. If you take the wheel off, you can just put one of them in. So that's a carry. It's a transport wedge that you put in when you're transporting your bike. So if your brake levers get knocked, it doesn't pin the things together. They bite down onto that, and that's usually the same thickness or slightly larger. So if you shove that in and just wriggle it around, you can actually push the brake pads out. I think you're supposed to be able to keep them on there, but I don't know. I've never really discovered it. So you're going to have to wiggle that spring around. It is slightly harder with these finned ones. So they're cooling fins that help cool it. That's the split pin that you would get with it, but we're not going to use that. We're going to put this one in. There you go. That was nice and easy. So far, so good. So remember, it doesn't want massively torquing down. Just nip it up. That's it. That's all it wants. Then put that in. And even if it comes loose, it's not going to come out. Of course, these are the most fiddliest thing in the world to put in. Yep, that's on. And of course, because it was on before, it was on with different pads, these are going to make a noise. So what I just need to do now is just centre these. Because this is Shimano, they use a different size to all the others, which would normally be a 5 on any other bike, but for some reason these giants have got a 4. So you just want to slacken it off. Make sure you do get the Allen key right to the bottom of the capsulated knot. Get it so it moves, because what you need to do is you're going to need to rock this around a bit just to slacken off the pads a little bit. All right, and then the idea is you pinch down on the lever, and it should centre itself. Now, what I've noticed with these road bike brakes is that doesn't happen very often. I nearly always have to either manually eyeball it in, or so I've put a strap on the. Let me show you. My mucky trousers. I was painting the workshop floor. So we've got a strap on the lever. That's pinned the lever in. So that should now be on hard. So all I need to do is just gently nip it up, and then hopefully it'll be aligned. If not, we'll try it with the metal. We'll try it with the metal spacer that we've got, and if that fails, then we'll eyeball it in. To be honest, they weren't a million miles out before they would have settled down with a running, but I just didn't want to have to listen to them squeaking. All right, so it's nipped it up. I'll just get that off. I think that's the best we're going to get. It seems to be even. They are pinning, they are both coming in evenly, so I think it is just that they are tight. We'll go with that. We just repeat on the back one. So that's it. That's how you change your your brake pads. The other thing I was on about, the shim. See if I can find one. Yeah, so you can slide that up around in between your brake disc and your pad, and then bite down onto that, and that guarantees that you've got probably about 0.2 of a mil gap on either side. I've got a slightly smaller one of them that's better for road bikes. And then if that doesn't work, literally just look down there and just line it up manually until you can see daylight. These are quite tight, I can't see daylight on either. That's it, simple as that. Oh, it's a bit too sunny. Move the bike around here, otherwise you can't see a flipping thing. Good evening, welcome, Lockdown Workshop. Right, what are we going to do tonight? We had loads of things. I might take you for a walk. Come with me. So we've got that. We'll come to that in a minute. We've got them. So, what are you looking at? Yes, you can see them. I'm pointing to the right place. So we got them. They're the tubeless carbon non-disc rims that I got for Reggie Jr. So I've stripped the 25C tubeless tyres off because one of them have got a slow puncture and the other one looked ropey as anything. And they were, as predicted, whoever had been doing it had not cleaned the tub tape off. They're in a rate state. The first one, the front wheel, the back wheel came off okay, just left loads of really horrible residue and the tub tape. So I got a heat gun and pulled the tub tape off. I didn't bother filming any of that because the plan was to do one of them, get used to doing it again, see what problems I might encounter, and then do a nice clean, you know, a proper worked through one on the front wheel. Yeah, well, that didn't go to plan, did it? So I tested this stuff. I put a little review on site. This is the glue sealant remover. That works a treat. Really good stuff, that. Clean the rim up beautifully. Well, you can see how clean this one is. So that's the rim. But what we did have a problem with this one is that some of the tape, the adhesive they'd used, I don't think was proper adhesive. It was more like super glue. And it stripped off the top coat of the gel coat. It's not an issue. It's not going to damage the wheel. It's just the protective kind of gel coat that sits over the top of the last layer of weave. So I've checked the weave. The weave is intact, and there was no weave came away with the thing. So they are fine. They sound good when you tingle them. You can hear the taut. So I've had to buy some more gel coat. So we'll do that on a video. We'll fix the gel coat on that. So I bought some black gel coat. We'll just paint that on and try and clean it up just to protect that so it doesn't get any water into it. So the original plan then was to tonight just to do a how-to on how to glue the tubs on and have a look at that one, but it didn't quite go to plan because one of the valve extenders that you need on the tubs, because obviously that's deep, you have to put a valve extender on it. One of them's broken and the other one's leaking. So one's missing its seal altogether and the other one's leaking. I did get the one that was leaking to reseal, which is in that one, but I've ordered some different ones and they're a matching pair and they're slightly different size, and then I'll keep that for a spare. The 5mm shorter, which I think is probably better because there's a massive weight imbalance on that wheel. It really bounces up and down, so 5mm is going to make it better. So we'll get that sorted out when they come, and we'll do the gel coating that to fix them. So that'll be a nice little video, gluing how to stick them on. Then what else have we got? The Goodie Shop spin. That's a set of used bearings. So that needs its bearings doing over there. It came in a few weeks ago with a reported clonking while the rider was riding it. We subsequently discovered that the through axle on the front wasn't tight at all, and it was rocking 5mm either side. We've chucked it all back together, tightened it up, but it was still making a noise, and I did say I could hear some play in the bearing, but I wasn't sure if that was normal because fulcrums have a little bit of play in them. Since then, I've bought a Propel, and mine doesn't have any play in it at all, and they're exactly the same wheels. So you can hear it really badly now, actually. He's ridden it quite a bit since then. If you bounce the front end, you can hear it's rattling. So Hence a set of ceramic bearings from bearingoptions.co.uk. I've used these before for a set of freewheel hub bearings for a set of, they were fulcrums. I've got these. I normally use white, but white were about £10 dearer for the ceramic set. Would I use bearing options again? Probably not. I didn't have any issues with those bearings, but white tend to deliver me the bearings within the next day, even though I pay for the cheapest postage and expect them within 3 to 5 days, and usually get them the next day. Now, two things with bearing options, which I'm going to give them some feedback on this. These ceramic bearings don't bear any resemblance to the pictures on the internet. The pictures on the internet have blue flexible seals on them, right? So I'm a little bit pigged over that because I would have preferred the blue ones. There's no difference with these, but I would have preferred the blue ones, to be honest. So that's a bit annoying. And the other thing was, it was about £4, £5 delivery, as opposed to free with white. And even though I was paying that, it said 3 to 5 days delivery, but it took 5 days. So that was quite expensive delivery, postage charges for something that took 5 days to get here. So won't be using them again, unless I can't get them from anywhere else, because some of the bearings are weird sizes. What have we got here? We have got, after all the fun and games we had last time trying to fill top up sealant in tubeless tyres, I've brought a tubeless tyre syringe, some spare valves, because on my bike I had I don't think I'd use that much up on that card. That was from the video in the other day doing an intro to Di2, which you'll keep an eye out for that one. It's a good one, that one. I am converted. Anyway, right, yeah, so we've ordered some of that. We've got some spare valves because I had a slow puncture on mine, and when I'd replaced the valve, I decided to top up the sealant because I didn't know how long it had been since it was last done. It seems to have fixed it anyway. I'm getting a dab hand at these tubeless. Now I've gone back to this kind of stuff again. I bought some more CO2 canisters because mine have run out. I went to set off the other day, first ride out on the brand new bike, first time I put any pressure on the pedals, literally on my drive, the chain exploded. So luckily I've got an Ultegra chain in stock. On inspection, right, I think I put some feedback on the site about this. Do not buy shit titanium chains, right? There is a reason why SRAM and Shimano and Campagnolo do not sell titanium chains. It is because titanium as a metal is too brittle. So this chain exploded. You can see that there, the link exploded. If you go and have a look around here, crack, 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 gap, crack, 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 and I'm not even halfway through the chain. So, PYC chains, if you buy any chain off Amazon and it's not a well-known brand, KYC or whatever, don't buy it. You can feel it's shit. It won't surprise me if it's not even titanium. Whatever it is, it's shit. Look, you can get into really serious trouble if your chain snaps at the wrong time. Don't buy that. That chain, when I put the meter on it, wasn't even registering. So wear-wise, that chain is virtually brand new. So don't ever buy them things. They are lethal. Luckily, I wasn't putting much power on. It's not like I was going down a hill or anything. Could have flown off the bike or gone, lost my footing and ended up under something. So luckily we had one of them in stock. Prices of these are coming down now, so there's no flipping excuse. These are like 30, 40 quid 12 to 18 months ago. I think I paid about 20 quid for that. So don't skimp on your chain. Always buy Ultegra or SRAM or if you're really struggling, buy the KMCs. They don't last as long, but they are a very solid chain. We've done that one. We've done that one. I managed to pick up some service bits for the power meter on old Reggie, and that's one of the things we might do tonight is move the power meter onto the new bike. I wasn't sure about the seal on it, and also the plastic battery cover case had been slightly butchered, where somebody who didn't know what they were doing had started hacking away at it to get the battery out, not realising it screws in from the other side. So I've got some new seals, new screws, new battery cover, that. And I also got, they were selling stickers, so for the sake of $5, and it only took 3 days to get here from Germany, I think. I got a replacement sticker, so that's the sticker that was on it. It's red, doesn't match the bike. Can you see it? We've got a grey one on there. Looks rather snazzy. To be honest, if I'd realised it's actually got some logos underneath anyway, I could have just taken the sticker off. Saved myself $5, but it looks nice anyway, and I'll keep that because that's still got loads of sticky, and if I ever sell it, they can have the red one as well. Apparently you do get all 6 colours with it when you buy them, but bearing in mind the thing was nearly $2,000 brand new. I'm not surprised they give you some stickers with it. We've ordered some bar tape because the bar tape on my new bike is a little bit worse for wear, and I do need to move the shifters. They're too far down. They're actually quite uncomfortable on your wrist, so they need moving back up to kind of not quite as high as Reggie Junior, because Reggie Junior is a little bit too high. One of them's slightly out of line as well, so we'll sort that lot out. But you can't adjust the handlebars on that. You can't just rock your handlebars back. You've got to physically move them. So we'll get that done. And that was the cadence meter that I was given, which is the one that fits in the frame on the thing. I can't remember if I did a video on that, but that sits there. So it's a built-in one into the frame. So, which has been quite good because I didn't have the power meter on, so I didn't have a cadence meter. So that's good. So first things first, let's get Wayne's bike done. We'll get the bearings done. We've waffled enough. There has been way too much waffle. What's on telly tonight? Oh, I can't whistle tunes, can I? Because I'll be getting copyrighted. Rewind. Somebody said you can unscrew these, because that does look the same as mine. So that's an extra bit that you bolt on. Not sure I'm that bothered, because yeah, no, I'm not that bothered. There we go. So no, it doesn't feel that bad. Can't feel any play on it, but it was definitely. Oh no, it's play on that one. It's always the outside there. Yeah, you can feel there's some play on it, so it's that one. Hopefully I've got the right size bearings. So we're going to need a puller. You see this? Yeah, I'm not copying Sleeper Dude. I do genuinely wear my flip-flops all summer. To be fair, I wouldn't normally be working in them. It is safe. Oops, flies and done. They are safe because I don't know if you can see. They are Crocs, so that makes them safety Crocs. So nothing. What size shall it be? Recording, yes. I think it'll be that. So actually, no. Let's just take the bearings out. They're caps that slide inside. I think these are 15mm centres. I think they have caps on because you can then just slot a spacer in and use a 15mm through axle in the same wheel, so you don't have to use a different wheel for a different size. Let's just keep throwing the bearings on the floor. Yeah, that's the one I want. I think they're the same for both of them. Yep. So we'll get the slide hammer out. I'm going to try and be a little bit more tidy. I'm trying to tidy up. Right, so we'll need that in a minute. I don't know why I've got that one out. So apparently you should just be able to pull these out. Nope. Alright, let's use the long nose pliers. There we go. We've got a bit of, could have sworn I saw a bit of rubber on here the other day. That would have been ideal for this. Maybe not. Maybe I was imagining things. Oh, no, that'll do. It's a bit of old thingy tape here. I'll put this over it. Just want something just to protect it so I don't mangle it with the it's not having it. Let's try this side. Get one side of it, you can probably if that doesn't work, I'll just pop it out. I'm not missing anything, am I? See, sometimes they have you can tell if they're push outs, because if they're push outs, there's no hex side in there. They are moving independently. It's literally just a rubber seal holding them in. I wonder if I've got something in my bodywork extraction kit that will do it. I'd rather use it. Oh. Nope. No. 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 Oh, that one might. No. A bit rubbish. Scuppered at the first hurdle. What's going on? I'm beaten. Try something with a bit more purchase on it. Put some rag in there. That's coming now. Yes, nearly out. There we go. Exhibit A. Should have just gone to the t-shirt and plier method in the first place. There's just not enough purchase on them long nose pliers sometimes. It's coming, it just changed its mind. Oops. Let's have one more go at it, and then we'll just knock it out from the other side, because it's just been bloody awkward. I know why it won't come out this side. There's a lockering in the way. Pretty sure they're the same with the just bear with me, callers. In fact, no. These are what you remove these with. Same Newton meterage as your bottom bracket. You can use the old Shimano thingy removers as well. I think they work in here. So take that off, and that should come out. There you go. Done. Yeah, do with a bit of grease around that. That's a little bit graunchy. Right, let's have a first pass at these bearings now then. That one feels okay. That one feels okay too. Well, there's definitely play on it, so it might not be graunchy, but it's definitely... Oh, there's a little bit of something there. These wheels are so light. Right, now these are a pain up the backside because they've got a... So it's, if you imagine it's like this, it's a bearing, and then there's a tube in the middle that sits flush up against... Sorry. That sits flush up against that edge and that edge. So that when you... There's no possibility for lateral movement, then that sits in there. That presses up against the edge of that, locks it in the frame, pinches it in place, but it doesn't put any pressure on the bearings, so the bearings are free running. Now it will be slightly smaller, so there is a tiny amount of preloading that goes on. I'm guessing, because you still have to have some preload. So I've got to be very careful with this. You have to put your extractor in, and so that you don't damage the center bar, you have to slide it out until you hear it click, and then wind it in, and it's an absolutely fiddly job. So get it so it's almost starting to go. Right, I think that's in. Do this way up, that's easier. I saw this on a video the other day, and I'd never thought to do it this way round, because I always end up having a nightmare holding on to the wheel and everything else. So what we're going to do is we're just going to drop it and then see if it works. Did that work? Don't know. No, that didn't move in the slightest. Just going to drop that through my phone. That'd have been funny. That'd have made good viewing. If this doesn't work, we'll have a bash at the other side, because the other side's got. I think it's one of them more slender than the other. So I didn't put much force on it last time, but these are fairly cheap. So I don't want to overload this when I crank it up, but I do need it a little bit tighter, unfortunately. I was trying to get away with hand tight, so that's it. Don't really want to go any further than that. Oh, nearly my fingers. Give it a bit of persuasion juice. Right, so this time I'm gonna brace it on the table. There you go. Don't believe everything you watch on the telly. on YouTube. That's all it wanted, a bit more force behind it. So that's the middle tube. Yep, we missed that, so that's good. No damage to that. Don't lose that. Don't lose any shims, because if they have shimmed it, which I did discover, if you remember, on one of the other ones, I couldn't get it back together again. Just take this off now. Right. Now, do not let this one out of your sight. Put it in there, because I've got to chuck out a packet of bearings because I'm not 100% convinced that they were knackered ones. So we'll put them over there because they're good ones. I found some in a box. One of the set would have done this, and I could have just got away by another one. It's a ceramic bearing, but I think they have come out of something else. Oops. So it can be a little bit easier with this one because we haven't got the centre thing to worry about. So I can just crank this up as much as I like. Right. I'm going to give it a little tickle as it doesn't fall down. Same again, just brace it on the table, just a couple of firm taps. Maybe we need to get some tickle juice. Nope, that is not playing. Oh, there we go. Just wanted to run up. Yeah, they look good. Really clean wheels, them actually. Don't think they've seen much hassle at all. I get the impression it's not got a lot of miles on it, this bike, from talking to Wayne. I think the bearings just have been slightly abused. It is unusual for a set of bearings that new to go. Right, so just do a quick recce check. Keep the shitty bearing in this side. It's obvious because we've got metal cages, but I like these because they've got more of a slope on them. These are a bit more hard edged, so these will be easier to get in and out. They've got if it's got more beveled edge, that's where you drive it in, and usually the writing's on the outside, but this writing on both sides. It could be beveled on both sides. Yeah, so it looks comparable thickness. Yeah, that's good. Same height, same middle, that's good. Same with this one, let's just check it. Same height. Yeah. Same middles. Yeah. Job's a good one. Right, which one should we put in first? Should we put the big one in first or the little one? I think we put the big one in. Right. Which is that one. Right, so let's get a bit of oil on it. Some people use grease, some people use oil. I prefer to use oil. I think you've got no chance of it getting any hydro locking or grease trapped underneath in it and stopping it from sitting where it's supposed to. I don't know what the dogs are kicking off at. We've got a visitor. I was expecting somebody's supposed to be delivering a generator at some point. So if you're in doubt with your sockets, just find one that fits. So that offer it up against one of the originals. There's another trick you can do. You can put the original socket on top of it and bray the living daylights out of that as well. It has exactly the same effect. Now I could use a drawer and draw this in, but can't be asked, to be honest. I don't think I've got one that small, but I could put the bar on that and then put it around the other side. So you can draw these in, but I think for the sake of these, I'm going to try and knock them in first. The hardest thing is just about keeping it even. So it was tough. It was tight this side. There we go. Right, don't forget to put the middle bit in. Same with this side now. Try and use a rubber mallet. Ideally, I'd have a dead weight mallet, but I haven't got one of them. So if anybody's got one, they'd like to donate. I've had a look for. I wanted one of them orange ones with a metal bit on one side and a plastic bit on the other, so you can use it as a hard edge or a soft edge. Let's have a quick look at this. See what size this one needs. So I can find something a bit bigger. Yeah, we'll go with the bigger one. That'll be easier to. There we go. Just going to wriggle the middle piece back into where it should be. It's not quite in the right place. We've got a nearly there. Yeah, it's moving around now. I think it was just slightly off angle. So we'll just put a bit of oil on them just to help them go in. If I can remember which side goes where. The longer one goes in this one, I think. Yep. Shorter one goes in there. There we go. That's in. Let's get all the oil off it now before we put the before we try and put the I need to cut my rags up. I'm wasting so many rags because I'm not cutting them up. Right. And there we go. That's it. You'll know when it goes because you'll feel it drop and then it'll turn easy. There's a couple of times I had a little bite at it and it wasn't quite there. Shall we break out the new torque wrench? 40 Newton meters. I have to wind it a long way. $35. Actually, that's not that bad. 40. Boom. Typical. That's why I normally use the big one on this. My hands are covered in oil and I can't hear that now. It's not a bad idea having a 3/4 sorry, 3/8. Now this apparently talks in both directions, which none of my others do. There we go. That's quite a nice subtle click that gives. So that's it, you've seen it first, that's the first time I've used it. A bit disappointed it didn't come with any adapters, to be honest, for how much it cost. Hey ho, beggars can't be choosers, and of course I can't get the adapter off that I've just put on it now. There we go. Back in its box, it will live in its box. So it's a Park Tool one. Proper stuff. Got quite a good deal on it. Got it from one of those up and coming bike shops that's trying to undercut everybody else. So not a bad deal that. Right then, let's just give the rim a quick clean off where I've got all my mucky paw prints all over it. There's no way Ian won't like that. He's a stickler for clean. Might have to stick some WD-40 on his. Might have to polish his rubber up there. I'm going to stick a little bit of grease on this, if I can find where I've shoved it. I might put a bit of lithium on this. Lithium or red grease will do. Just something just to stop, and if it gets any muck in behind it, it's not going to seize it up, because no doubt there's different metals in there. Just going to reline his, if I can find it. So, I think you can see from there. Let's have a look at this side. Come around here. You can see that's down there. So, if we, I think if we undo this, you can move them round, or you can take them off. It'd be interesting to see if they come off, because I'll see what's underneath to see if what comes with them. No, that's completely different to mine. So we'll stick that in there. It looks like it's in a straight line now. It says 5.5 Newton meters tight. That's door handle tightness. We might need to recenter the brakes again. Yeah, they sound pretty scabby. Flip it round to do this, I think. No, I'm not videoing into the sunshine for you. That. Yeah. Ah, bob on that. So you could hear it jangle. You know, like when you've got a loose headset bearing, it was exactly the same as that. Right, let me move you around. Oh, we've got an over temperature. Right, on the gadget. Right, I've got some shims. We'll do a shim on this one. Oh. Right, so we'll stick that in there and see if I can get it to go up behind. Doesn't always work, but we'll give it a go. Problem is these shims are designed for thinner wheels, bigger discs. So it's the same as what we do with the mountain bikes when we do those. Just wound this round, pull the lever tight. Don't let it sneak off like I did then. Right, and then tighten these up. Oops, we've upset the gears. They've woken up. So as I did before, a little bit at the top, a little bit at the bottom. And then if that doesn't work, we do what we did last time with this one, because it was really finicky and some of them are worse than others. We ended up with a little torque wrench out for this one. It's a 4. Yeah, I think it's one of those, isn't it? No, next size. Oh, I've got them the wrong way around, that's why. Right, so one of these torqued at. Doesn't say. That's not very helpful. We'll go for 6. We'll go with 6. It would if we could get the torque wrench in. We might have to go back to the old-fashioned method. Can't get the torque wrench in. Right, back to the old-fashioned method. It's about 5 or 6, so it's door handle strength. It's not too bad. It's going backwards. No, that's rubbish. Which way is it going? So that one there is moving more, so it wants to come this way a little bit. These Allen keys are getting a little bit past their sell-by date. They're both moving about the same now. There's a little bit of a buckle on the yeah, that's not helping. So there is a little bit of a buckle on the the trouble is it depends where it is when you bite it on the disc as to where it centres it. When the disc has got a buckle in it, we'll have to see if we can just tweak it out slightly. I suspect somebody's dropped something on the wheel while it's been transported. Oh, huh. I'll take that. Right, job 1 done. I think we might we'll pause it there, let the camera cool down, and then I'll flip the power meter across, which is the only other job I've got to do tonight. And we'll let Wayne know his bike's back in one piece again. Right, onwards and upwards. It'll be quick because I think the battery's over. Right, the camera was overheating, so I just cracked on with it and just let the camera cool down. It was a bit of a battle. If you remember, I had a lot of issues getting this to fit on the other frame. Got it in. It was a battle getting it in. It wouldn't line up. I had to use a puller to pull it in. Then I couldn't get it to crank down, which is exactly the same problem I had on the other frame. In the end, I removed the spacer that was on the back of here that it says you need to fit. But obviously, there's something with these that they do not fit a standard Shimano bottom bracket, because this is definitely a standard Shimano bottom bracket. The other one wasn't, so I could get away with that. That was a BB push PF30 that was converted. But yeah, it's spinning, it's nice, it's torqued up properly, bang on 40. Took a bit of truing up. I think this outer ring's slightly out of line, and I had to adjust the derailleur. It wasn't quite in the right place. I need to check I've done that right as well, because I was using the lugs instead of the adjusters on the thing. But I think you physically put it in its position for that gear using the screws, and then it should center itself. Then now the other crank went back on the other bike without any adjustments, so this crank should have gone on this bike without any adjustments, but we already know it's 5mm different to what it was on the other one, so it is what it is. There's not a lot we can do about that. It's spot on. I've put the 8000 pedals on this, the 8000 cranks on that. Most of that is 8000 now, except for the shifters, so they're still 6800s, and the pedals are 6800s. We'll see how we go with it. Hopefully it's not, we've not got any issues. Worst case scenario, I might have to shell out and buy another thing. I'm just trying to see if I've got any bent teeth. I did drop it on the floor once, so I'm hoping I've not bent any teeth. It's every now and again it's struggling to pick up. I can't see any major issues. We'll give it a shakedown ride. If there's any problems with it, I'll just swap it out, or I can always put the old crank back on. It's just nice having a power meter. I do miss it when I've not got it, and it does give me extra stats for my recovery and things. Anyway, we're going to call that a night. That was the main topic, to get the bearings sorted on that one. We've got a bonus with this. It took me so long to get that sorted out. Still haven't got the bar tape done or moved them, so we'll do that another day. Well, I may or may not stick that on a video. Right, let's call it a night. Jobs are gonna.